Hey y'all, it's Dr. Kylie with the Beyond the Diagnosis podcast, and it is 2023. Whew, where has the time gone? We began this in 2020. Would have never known what I would be doing now and what information would be out there about our health. I am so glad that you have taken the time to learn about your health and what you can do to be in charge of it and to be in control of it and to learn about your blood work, what your blood work really says right here on this podcast. In fact, if you could do me a big favor, I would be so grateful if you could leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Take a screenshot picture of it, send it to my team. We'll get you something good just for doing that. If you are a practitioner and you don't have a thriving virtual practice, you need one. That's what In This Together Live is all about. It's happening in February 20th, 21st, and 22nd in Orlando, Florida. Yes, this is an in-person event where I get to meet you and hug you and help you go the practice of your dreams so you can have more time, locate more freedom of time, location freedom, and financial freedom. But now is the time to do it. You've got to have a thriving virtual practice. The doors are wide open. And who knows what's going to be available in 2 years. So let's get this done now. Let's build you a thriving virtual practice in just 2 days. Come join me and other world-class experts in Orlando, Florida at the Wyndham Grand Resort on February 20th, 21st, and 22nd this year. So next month, grab your ticket at drkylieburton.com/in-this-together-live. It's got all the details, and there are only 200 seats available, so grab yours before it fills up. I guarantee it's going to fill up, and I also guarantee you ain't going to want to miss this. It's going to be the thing that blows up your practice so you can help more people while saving your time, saving your energy, and having more impact. And who doesn't want to meet in person nowadays? I need to meet you, and I need to give you the biggest hug and tell you, you got this, you are a genius. Let's just get more people knowing that your geniusness exists. And I'll see you in Florida next month. Welcome to the Beyond the Diagnosis podcast with me, your host, Dr. Kylie. We are in season 6. Blows my mind. I started this podcast over 2.5 years ago. Did you know that the numbers are 70% of people who start podcasts never make it past 9 episodes? We are near the mark of 200 episodes, and I can't believe not only how much I have learned with the interviews, but how many people I've been able to meet with podcasting. If you're thinking about starting a podcast and you're a practitioner listening to this, you might want to, simply because you can connect with a lot of people. To me, that's fun. I get to meet with people all over the world and see how they get to do things. You get to hear how they do things and just see where connections lead. So today's podcast episode is on one of my favorite topics. I call it my 5 steps to healing. Now, I'm a huge proponent of blood work. If you haven't grabbed my book off Amazon, you need to. Go to Amazon and buy it. It's called Why Are My Labs Normal? That will teach you how to read the blood work. And then once you read the book, come listen to this exact episode, because inside your blood work, you're going to find lots and lots of puzzle pieces. You're going to find puzzle pieces like your liver and your detox system are struggling. You might be finding adrenal fatigue in there, or my gut and my liver can't convert my T3. So I got to fix my gut and my liver because apparently that has a lot to do with thyroid. You might find blood sugar imbalances. You might find my biggest secret to why you can't get better are infections, underlying low-grade infections. You can find that inside your regular CBC, the blood work your doctor's already taken on you. Yes, even if you've been told you're normal. So grab the blood work. And then come listen to this, because you're going to take those pieces of your health puzzle that you now have from the blood work your doctor's already taken, and you're going to figure out through my 5 steps, which I'm going to teach you right here, right now, how to go from unhealthy to healthy. Now, this isn't where I'm treating a diagnosis. I am not treating your symptoms. I am treating you as a whole person, a person with lots of cells, trillions and trillions of cells, a person who has lots of organs and glands that create systems, and those systems are interconnected with each other. You can't have one without the other. So when you get that perspective and you start looking at your body as a whole, now you can go from, I might feel like this right now, but I'm going to change how I feel in 3 months. Then I'm going to change how I feel in a year. And I'm going to really change how I feel in 3 years. All because you took the blood work that you already have. You learned how to read it a better way by grabbing my book on Amazon, Why Are My Labs Normal? And then you're going to apply these 5 steps to how your body is going to go from unhealthy to healthy. Okay, now this is the physical treatment side of things. If you think you're going to feel amazing by just the physical stuff, I hate to break it to you, but the physical aspect is just one piece of healing. But nonetheless, let's make sure that this piece is perfected, because you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars on physical treatments and supplements that you might not need. Chances are you have supplements right now you don't need. What do you need? Right here in this moment. What does your body need in 6 months? What does your body need in 18 months after the next set of blood work? It's all coming to you, okay? Right here, the exact 5-step plan to not treat your diagnoses, to not treat your symptoms, but to treat you as a whole person. Step number 1. Support. I used to skip this phase and go straight into the infections because that was the fun part. But if you don't support the body and supply it with the nutrients it needs, the infection part can wreak havoc. And there's a lot of side effects that can happen during the second step. So the first step, you must make sure your vitamin D status is excellent. Not okay, but excellent. That means your vitamin D on your blood work needs to be over 80. So as you're looking at all these puzzle pieces, this is step 1. Fix your vitamin D. Step 2, balance blood sugar. Oh, sorry. I got off pace here. The second piece of supporting, ignore the balancing the blood sugar, that comes later. Vitamin D and iron. Okay. In that support phase, these 2 are a must. Number 3, your B vitamin status. Not necessarily your status, but your body's ability to efficiently use the B vitamins. Fix those 3 things first in step 1. The support. Support your iron, support your D, support your B vitamins, aka support your cells. Step number 2 in our 5-step healing journey is the fun stuff. It's the gut and the infection portion. So many people think, well, it's just my thyroid. So they go take levothyroxine or Synthroid or Armorthroid or Nature Throid or whatever the heck the next thyroid supplement pharmaceutical is out there. And they might feel okay for a little while. And they go back and they have to figure out more balancing the doses and changing it up and trying this one instead. Chronic fatigue. We all think it's our adrenals. They're a piece of the puzzle. The number 1 reason for chronic fatigue are hidden infections. Autoimmune diseases are triggered by infections. You need to know what your CBC says. You need to know what it says in a better way. So go grab the book. You know what to do in step 2. You need to tackle viruses, bacterial infections, fungal infections, parasitic infections. Chances are there's more than just one. If you have one, you probably have more than that. So your blood work will tell you what exactly you need. Where do infections hang out? Everywhere. They're smart. They know how to survive. So an infection in one person might look like type 1 diabetes. An infection in another person might look like anxiety and depression. An infection in another person might look like MS, hanging out in their spine. It just depends on where your body is the weak link and where your genetics tell things to chill and they hang out into damage. Okay, that's step number 2. Step number 3, once we've got the bad guys out, we got to get the good guys back in. Things like probiotics and prebiotics and enzymes and hydrochloric acid and all the things that make our guts healthy. A variety of things. If you're taking the same probiotic you've been taking for 10 years or 5 years or 5 months, your gut needs variety. Switch it up. Get new stuff. Get new strains. From a new company even. Okay. So step 1, support. Step 2, tackle the bad guys, the infections found inside your CBC with differential. Number 3, I call it gut replenish. Get all the good guys back in. And then once you've done that, now you can worry about those hormones. Man, we skip those first 3 steps so commonly. And then we wonder, why wasn't the world solved when I just worried about my endocrine system? Well, your endocrine system is just one system that is interacted and is affected by all the other systems and all your cells inside your body. With balancing out your hormones, it's not as easy. It can be, I guess, if you want it to be, taking estrogen or taking progesterone or taking berberine because that's stabilizing my blood sugar, or taking ashwagandha to heal my adrenals. I mean, I've heard just about it all. You got to truly look at the hormones and the endocrine system as a full system. And for me, there are 2 requirements to heal hormones or to stabilize them naturally without taking bioidentical hormones. And the first one is blood sugar stabilization. I want to see those blood sugar numbers between 85 and 99 on a consistent basis. And then the other part is, what's your cholesterol? Do you have enough cholesterol to make everything down the food chain? Details coming in another podcast episode, but you need healthy fats. You need stabilized blood sugar to balance out your hormones in step 4. No, that's not step number 1. So if you've been skipping the last 3 steps, wondering why the world hasn't solved your problems yet, well, there's more to your body than your endocrine system. And finally, last but not least, which I get a lot of flack for, and I don't care, I'm sticking with it, detox. And I call it detox done right. There's a lot of ways to do it wrong, but you got to do a detox done right. And what that does is that's like the cherry on the sundae. You've done all of the work leading up, and now it's like, okay, my cells are running smoothly. My body's eliminating. For those of you who are in that world where you got to drain processes, that happens in step 2. I just don't call it that. It's the gut infection stuff, making sure the bowels are moving clearly and everything's getting rid of the body. So then that way you can actually fall onto a real detox and pull toxins out of the cells and actually eliminate them because the body is running smoothly to do that. Okay. So there's your 5 steps to healing. Again, that is not healing a diagnosis. That is not healing a symptom. That is walking you from unhealthy to healthy. And when you do that, the symptoms go away and the diagnoses become irrelevant When it comes to medication, you got to work with your doctor on that. And the way to go about that is to say, hey, doc, I've been working on some things with my health. I'd really like to see what we can do about this medication, whether I take minimal dosage of it or we can get off of it. That would be my ultimate goal. What would you want to see from me to be able to get off my medication? And then they tell you, I want to see your numbers in this range. Or maybe they'll just say, well, it's up to you. Take it off. Get off of it when you want, I guess. Usually it's the numbers. Second is, well, that's your call. As a doctor, I wouldn't recommend going off it. You can be the judge on that. All right. Season 6 of the Beyond the Diagnosis podcast with me, your host, Dr. Kylie. Enjoy. Wasn't that just so good? Loaded with tons of information, just as this podcast has been the entire time. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been around for a while, I love it. Thank you for your support. I would be so grateful if the newbies and the oldies would leave a review on their favorite podcast listening app. Take a screenshot of that review and email it to my team. We've got some goodies coming out to you if you do that. My team's email is drkylieteam@gmail.com. If you're a practitioner and you do not have a thriving virtual practice yet, you need one. Now is the year. Now is your year. Don't let another thing get thrown at us by this world and take you down. Let's future-proof your practice. Let's get you creating and living and thriving in a practice that you love, that provides you with more time freedom, more energy, and location freedom, and financial freedom too. We will be doing just this in 2 days in Orlando, Florida at the Wyndham Grand Resort. Grab your ticket at drkylieburton.com/in-this-together-live. There are 200 seats for the in-person event, and you can attend there. You can attend virtually wherever you are in the world. Why? Because I'm here to help you. If you're not a practitioner, I'm going to help you too. I've got a book out on Amazon called Why Are My Labs Normal? If you haven't grabbed it yet, go grab it and learn how to read your blood work a better way so you never have to rely on anybody else again. And that's a wrap. I'll see you on the next episode.